Welcome to The West is Best by Test, where we explore the ideas and concepts that helped shape Western civilization. The idea that every human being holds inherent value is a cornerstone of Western civilization. This principle, which underpins modern human rights and national identity, has its roots in Christian thought, particularly in the belief that God is present in every person. From this idea flows the moral imperative that each individual possesses dignity, worth, and an inalienable right to be treated with respect. Christianity, from its earliest days, emphasized the intrinsic value of every soul. The doctrine of Imago Dei, the belief that mankind is made in the image of God, established a radical equality before God. Unlike the hierarchical structures of ancient pagan societies where human worth was often tied to status, birth, or power, Christianity taught that each person, regardless of wealth or position, carried divine significance. This idea became particularly influential as Christianity spread through Europe, shaping the moral and legal foundations of emerging nations. Medieval kings, despite their authority, were understood to rule under God, not as gods themselves. This was a significant departure from the divine kingship of ancient empires, where rulers were often considered divine or semi-divine beings with absolute power over their subjects. Instead, the Christian monarch was accountable to a higher moral order. As Christianity influenced law and governance, the recognition of human dignity led to the gradual development of rights and liberties. The Magna Carta of 1215, often cited as a foundational document for constitutional government, emerged from this tradition. It asserted that even the king was subject to the law, reinforcing the idea that all individuals had certain rights that could not be arbitrarily taken away. During the Renaissance and Reformation, these principles gained further momentum. The Protestant Reformation in particular, with its emphasis on individual conscience and direct access to God, further reinforced the concept that all people were spiritually equal. This shift also laid the groundwork for more democratic ideals, as it emphasized personal responsibility and moral autonomy over blind obedience to authority. The Enlightenment built upon these religious foundations, with thinkers such as John Locke arguing that natural rights, including life, liberty, and property, were granted by a higher authority than the state itself. This idea was revolutionary because it suggested that governments existed to serve the people rather than the other way around. The emergence of constitutional governance, with power distributed among different branches, was in many ways a secularized continuation of Christian ideas about human dignity and justice. By the time Western nations codified these ideas into law, such as in the American Declaration of Independence or the French Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, they were drawing upon centuries of Christian moral philosophy. The concept that a nation's value is based on the worth of its people rather than the power of its rulers is a direct consequence of the Christian worldview. The abolition of slavery also owes much to this tradition. While slavery had existed in many cultures for thousands of years, Christian arguments against it gained traction in the 18th and 19th centuries. Thinkers and activists like Wilberforce in Britain and Frederick Douglass in the United States used Christian principles to argue that all humans were equal in the eyes of God, making slavery a moral abomination. These movements led to the formal abolition of slavery in the British Empire, the United States, and beyond. Even today, debates about human rights, dignity, and national identity often rely, whether consciously or not, on this Christian inheritance. While modern secularism seeks to define human value apart from religious doctrine, the fundamental assumption that individuals have worth independent of state power remains a legacy of Christianity. Thus, the belief that God exists in every person has not only shaped individual morality, but has also laid the groundwork for the idea of a just nation, one where human value is the basis of law, governance, and society itself. Thank you for listening to The West is Best by Test. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. For supplementary reading, check out the links below this video.